Greetings and welcome to another installment from the Patchwork Productionz Learn to Crochet for Beginners series. In this video, you will learn how to make the Watermelon Applique. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Stitch, and Patchwork Productionz is all about learning and doing crochet. So make sure you subscribe so you never miss another installment. Without further ado, let's get started. In this video, we are going to be making a Watermelon Applique. And I've done previous tutorial videos on appliques if you'd like to know what they are, but basically they are small crocheted pieces that can be attached to another crocheted piece, or to any piece frankly. And here's some appliques I've made in the past. This is a 4-leaf clover and this is a flower with the same pink we're going to use today. So I encourage you to check out those videos as well if you want to learn how to make a couple more appliques. But this one is going to be very special because it's going to teach you a technique or a way that you can make half circles. So I've done plenty of videos on working in the round, and we know that they start with a chain loop or a magic ring or any sort of starting that helps you get round instead of square or straight where you work in the row. So generally, like with granny squares, we start with chain 4, slip stitch to the first chain, and then we have our chain ring and we work into that a certain number of stitches and go around. So for this half circle, I'm going to show you how to do it. But for the watermelon, I'm going to do a chain of 3 simply because I think you'll make a smaller hole that's always there, because as you can see here, there's always kind of a hole left behind unless you do, say, a magic circle or magic ring where you can kind of pull it tighter than you might normally be able to get it. But you can do the magic circle, but I'm just going to do a chain of 3. It can be a little tricky working with a chain of 3, but it shouldn't be too hard. So we're going to join with a slip stitch and make sure you keep track of where the center is, because when you do this you'll see that it's kind of hard to find that center. Now you have a bunch of holes, but you got to make sure you get into the right point of this loop. So the first thing I'm going to do is chain 1, and then I'm going to work into the center of my ring 6 single crochets. So I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for now, this looks just like what you'd normally do to start in the round. But here is where the difference comes. So first of all, make sure you count your stitches when you're done to make sure you have the right amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's our chain 1. And what I'm going to do, because it's not necessarily to do anything elaborate, I'm just going to get this stitch marker here and mark this end here so that I know not to work into my chain, that chain 1 we did, because that is not going to get worked into. So I'm going to be fighting with this for a little bit. There we go. And what we're going to do is grab the stitches you've done and make sure you're kind of technically holding that chain 1 or the ring or whatever, but you're just going to pull them around the loop until it's about halfway. And this is only the beginning. So now that we've done that, we're going to do the same round pattern that I explained in a previous video, where basically you need to increase a certain amount as you go through the rounds. You can't put too many, you can't put too few. So because we're doing a half circle, and we have 6 single crochets here, it would be as if we did half of a round that had 12 starting single crochets or double crochets. Generally you would start with 12 with double crochets and start with 6 for single crochets, but because I'm doing it small and I'm using single crochets, we're going to treat it like it was 12. So that means that the next step that we would do would not be to put single crochet increases in each of the stitches, because the next thing we need to do is get to, it would be like 18 if it was in the whole round, I think it is, stitches. So what we're going to do is chain one, so it's a pseudo row here, but we're going to chain one, and into that first single crochet we're going to work a single crochet, and into the next we're going to work a single crochet increase. So we're going to go one and then back into the same one, two, and we're going to do this until we reach our end, and as long as we don't work into that chain. So just be sure to count as you're going. I'm going to finish this. Okay, so this is the end, and as you can see, it already looks like a half circle. So let's just count this, and yes, I took out my stitch marker when I got to that end one so I could work into it. But we have, remember, we started with 6 here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is accurate because if we had done this with starting with 12, the next one would have been 18 total stitches. 9 is half of 18. So we're on the right path here. So the next thing you're going to do, again chaining one to begin, chain one, turn the work. So it's almost like it's a hybrid between working in the row and working in the round. But the pattern for the round continues. So now we're going to work a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we have 1 and we have 2. And then in the next stitch we're going to work that single crochet increase. 1, 2, and you're going to do this all the way to the end, which, if I get my math right, that would mean we do this sequence of stitches 3 times. This is the first time, I would do the second time, and the third time. And so this is what it looks like now, and again, this is looking quite like a half circle. So because this is a watermelon we're making, you can basically make this as large or as small as you want it. It's an applique. It doesn't necessarily need to be this big, or it could be larger, whichever one. So I'm just going to work this a few more times, maybe from this point, let's do 3 more times, and then we can finish it, because for right now this is just the pink of the watermelon. So yeah, let me do that, and I'm going to need a bit of yarn. Alrighty, so this is where I'm at now. I did 3 more half rounds, if you want to call them that. I don't know what they're called. And so this is where we're at with the size. Now the top of this doesn't look all too pretty right now, so it wouldn't make a very good watermelon. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do here is we're just going to probably single crochet, yes, single crochet across the top. And the reason I would use a single crochet and not a slip stitch is simply because when we get to the center here, I would work, in this case 1, but potentially it could be 2 slip stitches, and slip stitches in chain spaces back to back are a little difficult. So I'll just stick with single crochets, and what I'll also do is get my scissors and simply trim this end right here enough, because I can just, I might need to trim it a little more. I can simply single crochet over this and hide it right there and then to make my life easy. So I shall do this. Of course, just as an advice, you gotta chain 1 and then go across here. It'll make it easier and look better. So I'm just gonna do some single crochets, find some spaces. It's an approximation, doesn't need to be perfect, but just do your best to find where you think would be ideal place to put those single crochets and put them. So let's see if I need two in here. Let me finish this and then we can see the rest of this to make it a watermelon. Okay, so as you can see, this is what the top looks like now, which it looks a lot better. So now what we need to do is get ready to work in our green to make the bottom, which I'll probably do one, maybe two rounds or half rounds of that. So I'm gonna change colors here, and I can change colors as a single crochet. So I'm just gonna do another single crochet into this corner. Now be sure to count your stitches here so that you know where you need to be working into next, and remember you have a chain one over here that you don't want to work into. So let me join this on. And so what I did to finish this, to do the extra rounds or half rounds, guess I gotta keep saying that, half rounds, is that I just continued the same pattern that goes with what would be worked in a regular round. So the next half round I did three single crochets in the next, or single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then single crochet increase in the next, and that I did that 3 times, and then I did 4 single crochets in the next 4 single crochets in the next 4 stitches, and then single crochet increase in the next, and I did that 3 times, and then I did single crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then single crochet increase in the next. So at this point I'm going to be doing 6 single crochets, or 6 single crochet in the next 6 stitches, and then single crochet increase, and I should do that 3 times. So let me go ahead and begin this, but first let's count this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and let's hope this math adds up in the end. And so, behold, we have something that looks far closer to watermelon. I ended up doing 2 half rounds here. So again, the pattern just repeats itself, where I did in the next 6 stitches single crochet, in the next single crochet increase, and I did that 3 times, and next time I did in the next 7 stitches single crochet, and then the next single crochet increase, and I did that 3 times. So you're basically just doing half of what you would do in the round. It's the same round pattern to keep a flat round. And yeah, this is far closer to a watermelon. Now I think we need to make this a bit more elite. So what I'm first going to do is cut this yarn and take it off. I might end up doing that at the end. Let me just cut it there so it's not in my way. But we need some seeds in this watermelon. We need some seeds. So I have some black yarn, and all I'm going to do is cut off a bit of it. You don't need much. This is probably more than you need. And I'm going to take my yarn needle, and we're just gonna run some yarn through here. I think I'm gonna double my yarn to make my seeds. So basically I'm just gonna put it through and put it halfway. So you match these ends and pull. So I think I'm gonna do it like this. Let me tie this in a knot so it doesn't escape. Yes. So now you can just pick where you put your seeds, and I'll give a small demonstration here. You can just find a point and run some loops. This would also mean that you're deciding which side is going to be the front and which side is going to be the back of your project, because this won't be reversible now. But that's fine because it's a pretty consistent shape, so there's really no need to reverse it. You can put it however you're putting, just like this. But just letting you know. So yeah, and for me personally with my seeds, I find that watermelon seeds tend to stay in the top more of the watermelon, topmost part of the watermelon. So if I just leave my seeds up at the top, I don't think that's going to be a problem, right? Okay, maybe my seeds are a little cheesy here. I'm sure you can do better than this. But it was just to give you the idea. And of course, as you can see, the back looks horrible, which is why we don't use this side if we're gonna add seeds like this. So yeah, let me just fix up my ends, and then we'll conclude this. So this is my watermelon with cheesy seeds. But yes, this is how we can make a watermelon applique, and this can give you some ideas for different projects that you can do using the half circle method, this way of making half circles in crochet. Just remember, the half circle is basically just half of working in the round. So the same pattern you use to grow a flat round is the same pattern you use to make the half circle. And you can count your stitches and easily know you're on the right track as long as it's half of what you're supposed to be doing. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so this is how we can make this, and I think mine looks great. I don't know if the color choice was all that good, but it works. So for now, that will be all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to learn more about crochet, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also share this video with your friends and family or on social media. And feel free to leave a comment down below. If you have any questions or suggestions or any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, catch you later.